Hey guys, Tomboy61, and if you're like me, you've been playing the wonderful Saving Transylvania event this week, getting yourself that free Tier 3 premium ship, and earning some rewards along the way. But it can be a bit of a struggle in order to get those 5 stars, especially because you have to rely on teammates. So this is going to be a video explaining kind of a guide, what needs to be done, what each ship's roles should be, what you should be doing, things such as that, and hopefully this adds to your success. Now, of course, the whole point of this is to escort the ship, the Transylvania, from one side of the map to the other. It's an AI control ship that is going to go on one of two paths. You get to choose a destroyer, a cruiser, or a battleship for your player-controlled ship, and it can be a mixture of pretty much any of them. I think during my time of playing, I've seen as many as 2 of each on your team. So be warned, your team comp may be a little bit different than you see in some of these videos. In order to max out and get the 5 stars, you have to achieve 5 tasks. One is to, of course, finish the map, and by that I mean escort the Transylvania clear across the seas. The second is the Transylvania has to keep moving. So if you see the little green area around the Transylvania, not only does that heal your ship, it also allows the ship to keep moving forward. One friendly teammate must stay next to the Transylvania within that circle at all times throughout the entire match, or else you will lose that star. Then you have to destroy all catapults. There's 10 catapults in the match, and no matter which way you go, they spawn in the same places, but what happens is you generally have a line of sight to be able to attack all of them, or your battleships will have a good shot at all of them. So unless you're in a battleship, you don't really need to 100% worry about the catapults, but just be aware that those catapults are there. The next thing you need to do is make sure that the Transylvania has 50% of its HP when it reaches the target. This can be achieved through a couple of means. My personal favorite and the thing I like to focus on is laying smoke as the destroyer, but also just having some other ship that is kind of in front of the Transylvania. That way, the AI, what they tend to do is whatever they see first, they shoot at. So if they see you first, not the Transylvania, well, there you go. And finally, you have to eliminate all foes. Assuming you make your way along the path, all the ships will come out and attack you. And the last thing you have to do is defeat Rasputin. He is I believe it's an Ismail battleship that pops up that has a ton of health that you kind of need to focus fire in order to eliminate. And those are the 5 stars. Now, as far as the roles of each ship, we'll go ahead and first talk through what's on screen, and that's the destroyer. The destroyer is the ship damage dealer. It is the only ship that has torpedoes. Those torpedoes reload every 19 seconds, so you should be firing them like a madman. Beyond that, as far as what it should be doing to support the team, first off, hitting its torps. The ships do tend to follow somewhat on the indicators. They're AI. They don't really take evasive maneuvers. They kind of go on a set path. So if you see where a ship is heading, generally it's a fairly easy just aim kind of for the indicators, and you're going to do all right as far as lining it up. The other thing I like to do is for the smoke, you can go ahead and the smoke screen dispersion time is about 30 seconds, and what you can do is you can lay a train of smoke in front of Transylvania, and when that happens, the enemy ships can't see Transylvania, and no one can shoot at it. So if there's times where it seems like you're about to get overwhelmed, or there's a possibility of that, you do have 2 of those smoke charges, and I usually like to use one at the beginning of the match and one towards the end near when Rasputin arrives. That way it provides a kind of shield against doing damage to Transylvania. Next, let's go ahead and talk about what you should be doing in the battleship. Now, the battleship is the Nassau, has two sets of port and starboard guns, and then a set of center firing ones. Turret traverse is way quicker than it is in regular multiplayer, which is good. Something that this ship has that it doesn't in multiplayer is AP only, so you will only be firing AP, so just kind of keep that in mind. The main objective for the battleship, and what the battleship should be concentrating on first and foremost, is those catapults. The catapults are extremely weak to armor-piercing shells. and they will go down in pretty much a full salvo. If you get all 4 on target, I think those tend to go down, if not just a little bit more than that. Basically, concentrate on the catapults, then focus on the ships. The main ships that you see going around, I was not able to citadel them. I might have just been missing my shot on that. I know Rasputin definitely has a citadel for you to be able to hit. But as far as the battleship goes, try to stick close to Transylvania. Keep an eye on the minimap. You're a brawler. You have the range. If you keep next to Transylvania, you basically are just a little bit. I think you're just like, you're almost the same amount of speed as Transylvania. So if you keep an eye on the minimap and you stay with Transylvania, one, you're going to be doing a pretty good service to your team, because if you can go ahead and master that and not be the one, and be the one who's escorting Transylvania and keep the ship moving forward at all times, that will significantly help your team, because that I'll be honest, that is the one, whenever I was playing with solos and randoms, that's the one we had the most trouble with. Everything else I was able to do fairly often. It was staying with the ship and keeping it moving that was the most difficult part of this. So if you are able to do that, that is an excellent thing. If you see someone else doing it, you can kind of move out and try to get a better angle for your guns to try to do some damage, whether it be to catapults or to incoming ships. And beyond that, the battleship play is fairly simple. That's everything they really need to concentrate on. Next, let's talk about cruisers. So Igor is the event cruiser, and I think the cruisers may be one of the most important ships, just because they are the hybrid. They do massive damage to both the incoming ships, and they can do pretty decent damage to the catapults. As far as the strategy goes, cruisers, what you want to do, get one fire started on an enemy ship, wait for its damage con party to go. They will automatically trigger it after one fire, then light the ship, and then move on. Basically what you want is simultaneous fires on all ships and keep them moving. That way you're doing large amounts of damage over time on all of the enemy vessels. That is kind of your key as the cruiser, is you have a very good fire chance and you want to use it. Get those fires started, move on to the next one. Alternatively, what you can also be doing is, if you know those fires are all set and ready to go, and you realize your team hasn't started shooting catapults, guess what? You can flip to AP, and you can do some pretty decent chunks to those catapults. You do about 2,750 damage to the catapults. Imagine doing that, but you have, the stupid number of guns that you have on the side of the ships, because, well, Igor's just a skin for the St. Louis, so it will do a fairly large amount of damage. Cruisers can also do fairly well at escorting Transylvania, making sure that it keeps moving. But like I said, I think Igor, with the cruisers, you are the main damage dealer. You are setting those fires, doing the large amounts of damage over time. I don't think there was any cruiser games where I didn't have under like triple digit damage by the end of the game. I think it may have even been up into the 200,000s. Like, getting those fires set, getting 2 or 3 fires on an enemy ship, moving on and getting 3 fires on the next ship and 3 fires on the next ship does some massive damage, and that is kind of your key. And if you do all of that correctly, you're going to be doing fairly good. Now, as far as what you should be doing at the end of the match, because this is probably where the most challenging is, right at the end, you do, of course, have Rasputin spawn. This is where it is kind of the all-out brawl and the all-out battle. As far as my strategy goes, or what I have been doing, concentrating on the 2 side ships and then going after Rasputin. But if you can get fire started, if you're like the cruiser, on all 3, that definitely helps and benefits. You definitely want basically to take more guns out of the match as soon as possible. Remember, in order for you to get all the stars, it's not like everyone has to survive. You can absolutely use the Nassau as a ram. You can absolutely, do some less than ideal tactics. That is definitely one thing. I definitely lucked out on my first 5-star because Rasputin got caught up on the wreckage of another ship, so he couldn't really move forward. But one thing that has definitely been beneficial when I was playing is if you're the destroyer, you know when that thing's about to spawn. One, go ahead and fire some preemptive torps. Nothing. It's always nice to get some preemptive torp strikes out, but you can also go ahead and just kind of charge ahead and have close range torps ready to go. Be ready to engage those enemy ships just in order to do as much damage as possible as soon as those guys spawn. And that's kind of been my strategy overall for this event. As far as I ended up winning and getting my 5-star in the destroyer, and I'm currently working through and just kind of getting all those other challenges that are currently in the game for the rest. But yeah, guys, that's my kind of guide to the Transylvania event. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Have you had much success? I hope you have. And if not, I hope this guide helps that. Guys, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.